was his last game. And he tells me it goes a lot faster than you think. And it really does. Because when I got here in 2007, like this spring period seemed a really long ways away, but it goes fast, man. It really does.
How are things that shaken out with the offensive line so far this spring? Who's been running with the first team and where?
Like I said, we've had 3 quarterbacks, three and even sometimes 4 take snaps with the first team. So there's not one out-and-out first-team guy. You know what I mean? Bolden, Glenn Newsom, you know what I mean? PJ, they've all been taking reps with the first team. So.
What's Rob's mindset been like after he considered transferring? Did you see any change in him when he came back?
I didn't. I mean, the kid's been working hard since day one. I feel like that's been his mindset. He's never set out to, you know what I mean, just feel bad for himself. And, you know what I mean? He's always worked hard, and he continues to do so.
Did you talk to him much when he was considering transfer?
Yeah, I talked to him. You know what I mean? I told him I wanted him here, but I told him ultimately do the best thing for him. And you know what I mean? After Joe kind of sat down with him, you know what I mean? He decided it was to stay here. So I'm not mad at that at all. I'm happy he's here.
What about McLaurin? How's he bounced back from that, from the Outback Bowl? How's he looking this spring?
Matt's a competitor, and he understands that that's going to happen. Things of that nature, it's not always going to go your way. He threw for back-to-back 300-yard games. You know, he set records last season in the short time that he had. So if he knows how to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? And he's taking the stride, and everybody's competing this spring. So that's the most important thing.
What's the senior class hoping to accomplish this spring as far as setting the tone with leadership and things of that nature?
I mean, obviously, to lead the team, but, the goal is ultimately to win the national championship. You know what I mean? That's the goal every season, for pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and say for everybody. So, senior class, the guys who just got here, the new recruits, pretty much everybody.
You're a senior returning starter. Do you see yourself as a leader in this team now?
I try and lead by example. You know what I mean? I'm not one of the guys who, feels the need to really throw bravado around there and yell. But, it's important if they can see what you do, you know what I mean? Not so much as you say, I think that's the more important is actions.
Chima, what's the biggest difference you think between Silas Red and Evan Royster? You got to replace your starting tailback, and he's probably going to get a lot of carries. What's the difference? Is he a different runner?
Silas is more of the, he's a bit faster. You know what I mean? There are great things about both of them. Silas is more of the, get up in the hole and he's gone. You know what I mean? But he's also durable. Evan was more of the kind of patient, pick a spot type runner. But like I said, you can't go wrong with either one of them. So both those guys are good.
How much are you driven by last year's, call it, poor performance, 7-6 record?
I mean, obviously, we didn't feel we were a 7-6 football team, but there were certain moments where we should have shown up and we didn't. You know what I mean? So obviously, we want to improve on that. That's not where we're going this year. And like I said, the goal is in the national championship.
How do you go about improving on that here in spring practice?
Well, you sit down, you watch a lot of film, you get here really early, and you look at the key situations. You know what I mean? The Michigan State games, the Illinois games, the games where we were in a position to win and we didn't. And you ask yourself why. You break it down and you try and improve. It's only a mistake if you don't improve them.
Is the whole team buying into that type of work ethic and mentality?
From what I've seen, I believe so. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't come in here. Well, you can't come into this program and not work hard and not be willing to give all you have because you won't last too long here.
Chima, was it hard for Rob Bolden to fit back in after he kind of explored his transfer options, or did you guys accept him right back? Or how did you guys do that?
Like I said, I called him. Daryl Clark called him. There's people who called him, and we were just telling him to do the best thing for him. Because I'm not the one to tell him, you should stay here, you should go. But I told him that we believe in him. I mean, we never lost faith in him. It's hard to come in here as an 18-year-old kid and take the helm of the entire program. But I told him to do the best thing for him, and luckily for us, he decided to stay.
How tough is it for a young guy to be patient? You were patient. How tough is it to do that?
It's hard, because you see everybody out there. You want to go make an impact, and you want to go, really, kind of get out there and show the world what you can do. But patience is a virtue. And if you don't have that, you're just going to burn your bridges before you had a chance to cross it.
Do you think it's a little bit harder for him because he had a taste of that at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely harder for Rob because he had a taste of what it's like to be in there and get in the limelight and things of that nature. But, like I say, he's a good kid. He came in here, he was 18, and, I expect big things from him.
Last year was so much about Rob being quiet in the huddle. How much has that changed?
Like I said, as he's got more comfortable with the offense and the guys, he's matured more, and he's really been able to, kind of vocalize his leadership, which is important to do. Which is definitely important to do. But like I said, he's growing as a person. You know what I mean? And he's maturing, so that's always important.
There are examples that come to mind where he vocalized his leadership, where he said something, and maybe this spring he wouldn't have expected him to say it last fall.
When the offensive line isn't really quite up to, he didn't have as much time as he needed, or the receiver's route wasn't as crisp as it could have been. He's not shy to get in there and tell you how he thought about that, which is important to do.
Yeah.
Who's running with the number one line right now?
Like I said before, we've had three or four quarterbacks with the number one. There's no set out starter. I mean, we've only had 2 weeks of spring ball. So.
I mean, your offensive line.
Oh, offensive line.
Yeah.
It's myself, Johnny Troutman, Deontay Pinnell, Quinn Barham, and Matt Stankinson. But like I said, that also rotates in and out per period. So.
How do you guys feel? I mean, I know you lose Wisniewski, but you were kind of thrown into the breach last year a little bit. Do you guys feel good that you're going to be able to kind of gel as a unit early and there's some depth with some of these younger guys?
We feel good because most of the people who are playing now got a chance to get in there last year, you know what I mean, kind of fill each other out, because on the offensive line, if you know the tendencies of the person next to you, it makes it a lot easier to play, and that can only be developed with time, which I felt, we were able to get last year. So
you feel good about having a guy like Red? It looks like you've got a major home run threat back there. How's he looking?
Silas is the man. And more importantly, he's a good kid. He's humble too, and he's always wanted to learn more. When Evan was here, he was always in his ear. You know what I mean, going over stuff, and I think that's an important quality to have too. Just to, he'll tell you he doesn't know it all, and he's still a kid in a lot of ways, but a lot of respect for Silas.